Om Shanti, good evening, and greetings of peace. Today, our topic is quite an interesting one, the balance sheet of life. As human beings, we are governed by a law called karma. So, from birth, when we enter this human form, and until I, the soul, depart, I am involved, action and reaction. As you sow, so shall you reap. There is no cause without effect, and there's no effect without cause. The two goes hand in hand. So tonight we're going to examine the journey that we take from birth and when we leave this world. So let's say every day is like a bank account and there's a deposit of 86,400 seconds. That's the time of 24-hour cycle. And we're given this account to use this time of 86,400 to use to do what we want with it. Like any bank account, should we use all of it within a day? In this bank account that we are given every day, time and thoughts are like currencies. So how do we spend our time and what do we think? What quality of thoughts do we create? So in this bank account, no one is rich, no one is poor. We've all got 24 hours each. In many things in life, we say we are not equal, but in this case, everyone gets the same 24 hours a day. And we can make time for what we truly want. So, what are our priorities? What do we spend these 24 hours doing? Every minute we utilize, every minute that ticks by, it is irreversible and it is irreplaceable. We can't get back that time that is lost or wasted. It's the same with thoughts. Once we create them, positive or negative, we can't take them back. They go out. They spread in every cell in our body and they influence our state of mind, mental, physical, and emotional well-being. Thoughts have that effect. It influences our mind, our health, whether it's emotional health, mental health, spiritual health, physical health. It has an impact on every cell in our body, and then it moves on out into the atmosphere. And anyone who is in that house with me or in that work environment with me, or anyone who thinks or connects with me throughout the day, they're picking up my vibrations. They're picking up my energy. And they come under the influence of that if they're weak. And if they're strong, they're able to go beyond my influence. It doesn't stay with us. It goes and influences the atmosphere in the world and everyone in that atmosphere. So time and thoughts are the most important resources that we have. They are our currency. And within that 24 hours, 86,400 seconds, that time is available today and now. Yesterday is irreversible, inaccessible, and irrecoverable, and irreplaceable. It's history. It's past. We can undo yesterday, and who knows about tomorrow? It has not been promised to anyone. Tomorrow is a mystery. Yesterday, a history. And today is all that we have. And this moment now is all that is guaranteed. So, what do we do with our bank balance? We can invest our money, we can buy property, assets, or we can just spend it all out on ourselves, draw it out, meaning all my thoughts and all my time can be spent on indulging in my own desires, my own needs, my own wants. And I have not invested anything for tomorrow. I can do that. But I'm sure none of us listening tonight do that. We think of putting aside some savings. We think to invest. So when can we invest and how can we invest so that our bank account increase, they multiply? And certainly we all know that what comes to us is credit. What we take is credit. We have to pay back. What we give will be our investment. It will come back. So what if we spend all our thoughts and time, our resources, energy, money, everything that we have? What if we spend it in fulfilling our desires and our wants? What if we do that? What's going to happen tomorrow? Will there be anything in my bank account? It's sad, but we have witnessed so many times, and especially in the last few months, what people spend years and they sweat and toil and accumulate it. It just disappeared in one storm, one flood, one fire. So much nature is bringing us to that understanding. What we run after, it can all go in the twinkle of an eye. It can all go within minutes, within hours, as we witness again and again. So running after all those things, and then to discover one day it can all go without my knowing, without my wanting. So nature is teaching us so much lessons of life. When we see someone taking drugs and becoming a drug addict, and he becomes homeless or she becomes homeless, and they roam on the street, we feel sorry for them. But at the same time, we tell ourselves we would never allow ourselves to get there. So when these scenes in the world are taking place, they're giving us essential insights, essential lessons of life. And so to invest means to spend some of our resources for improving the life of others. So ask myself this important question. From morning until night, how many of my thoughts are dedicated to good wishes and pure feeling for someone else, some less fortunate one? And I'm not saying invest your money, I'm just saying invest your thoughts for the benefit of someone else. How much of your time do you dedicate to listen, to spend time encouraging and inspiring someone, to give them the breath of life again, to be the stick for the blind, to be like a lighthouse guiding them through the darkness, to help them to see the truth? So how do we spend our time and thoughts, our currency for the day? Are we generous, kind, caring, sharing, wanting to be available for someone else? Or we say we are busy in the rat race called life, busy in accumulating, busy fulfilling our wants, because our needs are very few, but our wants are many. And Mahatma Gandhi said, the world has enough for our needs, but definitely not enough for our greed. So if there is inner contentment, inner peace, inner happiness, then our wants will reduce. Even though we know contentment is not acquisition of wealth, nor is happiness an acquisition. A king who has an entire kingdom, but he has desires. He's a beggar to his own desire, and a beggar who has contentment. He is the king. So happiness is a state of mind. Contentment is a state of mind. Peace is a state of mind. It's not available out there and we can't purchase it. Anything that we purchase for happiness and peace are temporary, momentary. But as a soul, an eternal, immortal, and imperishable being, I don't seek happiness, contentment, peace for 24 hours, nor for 7 days a week. We seek it for the here and hereafter. So I have to ask myself, coming back to this two important resource that we have called time and thoughts. We can be the richest, the most powerful, the healthiest with our thoughts only. If we have thoughts of contentment, inner peace, and inner happiness, we are the richest and the healthiest and the most prosperous. Do we need to run the rat race, go after temporary things, when through our thought we can attract abundance, we can attract scarcity. Through our thoughts, we can attract happiness as well as sadness. So today is available, and this moment is available. There was an interesting story. A professor of philosophy arriving in his classroom one day, he brought with himself a large jar. He began to put small stones in the jar. And so he asked the student, is this jar full? And they said, yes, sir. Then he took out another bag very small stones, and he poured it in the jar and filled up all the empty spaces. Then he asked the student, "Is this jar full?" And they said, "Yes." Then he took out the bag of sand and he poured it into the jar, and all the spaces that was unoccupied, he filled it up with sand. And then he asked them again, "Is this jar filled?" And so it is with life. If we place the sand in the jar at first, there will be no space left for small or big pebbles, stones. So, what is our priority? Do we go after the little things, the distractions, the things that are temporary, short lived, or do we go after the things that are more solid? They always say, never build your house on shifting sand, but make the foundation with rocks. So, what's the foundation of our day? Do we spend it, our entire day, collecting sand, or do we go after something much more solid? So, work is important, it gives progress. Family, important. It allows us to develop responsibility, care. Taking care of the body is taking care of the health. That's also important. But do we spend any time developing a powerful mind, a peaceful mind, a mind that is filled with resilience, courage? Do I give priority in developing the mind, knowing that my mind can make me or break me? My mind can destroy my peace or restore my peace. How do we spend our time? Busy, criticizing, complaining, thinking of others, thinking of the past, because we can't change the past, nor can we change others. Do we spend our time worrying about tomorrow when there's no guarantee of tomorrow? So, worrying about the future? Or do we spend the time enjoying the gift of today? So, what if you have $86,400 and somebody robs you of $10? Do you spend the rest of the day being disturbed, trying to fight that person to get back your $10? That's what happens when people insult us or defame us, and we get upset and we get disturbed and we can't function and we are in a bad mood and we are unhappy. How many more $10, assuming that $10 mean 10 seconds of insult and defamation, should I spend the rest of $86,390 or 86,390 seconds feeling upset, feeling disturbed because of somebody else's opinion? So how do we spend our time? Wasting it, feeling sorry for ourselves? Or do we, at that time, we send good wishes to that person, hoping that that $10 can do that person some good, bless that person, and wish that person contentment so that that person will never want to steal anyone's money again. That person becomes satisfied with life. And that's investing rather than spending. I hope this concept of how we spend our thoughts and time can awaken us to realize that we can be wealthier we can accumulate great assets through our thoughts, through our good wishes. And it is not possible, really not possible, to be angry towards somebody else, to blame somebody else, and not being agitated ourselves. Whilst other people may be doing something wrong, my getting upset is also wrong. So they're losing and I'm losing. That's why I have to ask myself the question, when something happens, can I respond positively or should I react negatively? Sometimes all we need to do is to apply silence and let silence heals us, provide that space so that whatever's happening on the outside cannot touch us. Why meditation plays such an important role. The Brahma Kumari, we start every day with meditation. It's like filling up ourselves. So the possibility of losing control, feeling disturbed is least. So I have to protect my own self. When we get up in the morning, we want to take a shower. We want to put fresh clothes. We have our coffee and we have a hot breakfast so that we have acquired energy, physical energy, to deal with the challenges at work. So I have energy, but most important is the energy of my mind. If my mind has peace, happiness, contentment, nothing from the outside or no one from the outside can harm me. So this is why balance in life is so important. Take care of the family. Take care of your body. Work to maintain it. Work to provide comfort for the body. So work is necessary. Taking responsibility for the family is equally necessary. As you would have seen in the world, the wealthiest, the richest, the famous have everything that money could buy, surrounded by thousands of funds, have a status, have money, have acres and acres of land, have owned the best yachts, have their private jets. But do they necessarily are content, at peace, and happy? We all know the answer. So we live in a world where there's a need for inner balance. Anything can happen. We are living in a world of extremes. Today, there may be scenes of happiness, and tomorrow, who knows, they may be the reverse of that. So what do you do when tomorrow changes? It's something different from your expectation or what you're used to. So what do you do at that time? At almost every second, we're faced with duality of opposites. And there's no formula for finding the right balance. Some situations require us to be totally assertive and stand our ground and express how we feel. And other situations required us to let go in favor of the other. Just allow them to feel satisfied, even if I am losing something. One of the wonderful benefits of meditation is the art of objectively viewing yourself. How do I respond on the stage of life? Imagine the whole world is my audience and I'm on the center stage, and everything I do, others will see and follow. So they're watching my performance on stage. So how do I respond to happiness and how do I respond to sorrow? We all watch our favorite sports. Sometimes the team I'm backing wins, and sometimes the team I'm backing is losing. When the team I am backing loses, do I spoil my whole weekend because they have lost the game? Do I let what's happening outside disturb me? Or I say life is a game and the sports is also game. And this movie I watch is also game. And the news that I listen to is all about some scenes of happiness and some scenes of sorrow. So there's no need to blame anyone. There's no need to get upset by anyone because I can't resist. I can't go to any corner of the world today. I guarantee that this part of the world is safe and everything will be fine and everyone is happy. We'll all buy a ticket and go there, won't we? And that's not possible. We have to make heaven right here, right now, with the people we live and work with, not changing our job and hoping that things will get better, changing our partner, changing our country. No, because challenges gives us wisdom, insight. We grow, we mature. So failure, there's more feedback than success. So challenges are necessary. When the scenes of life change, it's for our benefit. So don't waste all our currencies, all our thoughts, and our time and other valuable resources asking why, what, when, how. Many people are looking at the scene COVID and they're thinking we're going through a bad patch and they're waiting for things to get back to normal. But COVID has taught us to get less distracted, get less external, and teach us how to go within, stay within, enjoy your family, enjoy yourself without the distraction of outside. So COVID is teaching us how to spend less, spend wisely. COVID creates incredible opportunity to teach us that we don't need all those distractions. We need to be more centered, balanced, simple, to value everything that we have. Pay attention to hygiene, pay attention to health, pay attention to each other. And many times people say we don't have time. Even in COVID, we don't have time. So what will make us to understand the value of time and thoughts if not now? I remember going through in St. Martin, Irma, we thought that was worst. We never imagined something called COVID at that time. That time we thought, wow, no water, no light, and we survived. We cooperate with each other and we came out with flying colors. And then we forget the lesson learned until another scene. And then we learn to come together in love and harmony and unity. Think about it. How many more catastrophic disasters must come before I wake up? So every scene should be something that should make us to wake up, awake, aware, and conscious. Let our third eye open and to understand that time waits for no one. And we have 24 hours, 86,400 seconds. And at the end of the day, we could have accumulated great assets, great investment, only if we can spend few minutes meditating in the morning, make the mind calm and positive and powerful, so that we have enough resilience to withstand all the external negative influence. Does that make sense? If I can spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes in the morning. So the lesson tonight, we only have 24 hours. We have the present, we have today, we have now, and we can invest today for life after tomorrow. We can invest. If I do two things, one is self-service and world service. Using my time and thoughts for empowering the self, I can then inspire others. I can empower the world. So see if I can calculate in my 86,400 seconds, how many of that goes in serving the soul, serving the mind, making the inner being happy, powerful, stable, calm. If I can serve the self and balance it by spending few minutes of that time to send good wishes for nature. Nature is our servant and we are the master. But if we are not careful, nature tends to become the master and we become the servant, dancing at nature's tune. So if we can serve the self and spend a little time for world service, service of others, service of nature, sending vibrations of peace into the atmosphere, so it bounces right back to me at the end of my 86,400 seconds. At the end of the day, I get assets, not liabilities, but assets. I'm not having an overdraft. I have extra credit in my account. Om Shanti.